Welcome to Practicing with Paula. This is our opportunity each Saturday to come together and to practice. And so, since this is the first week that we're doing this, I want to start with an orientation. I just want to explain to you what we're going to be doing and how it's going to flow from week to week. So, transformation doesn't happen because we know better, because we know a whole lot of stuff. And so, the knowledge alone is not what transforms us. Transformation happens because we practice differently, do something different. And that is what then causes us to grow and to transform. So, what is this going to look like for us here in Practicing with Paula? So, we're going to have weekly practices each month. We gather on Saturdays, or I post on Saturdays, and you can follow along. And so, we have a rhythm that we are going to exercise. Week one will be the invitation. And so that's when we'll establish what are we practicing this month. That'll be the first Saturday of the month. We'll establish what our practice is. We'll talk about why this practice is important, what exactly that practice word means, and so forth. So that'll be like the invitation for on week one. Week two, we'll actually introduce 7 micro practices that we're going to do around that given word. And so as a result, we'll be able to practice them between weeks 2 and week 3. And so there'll be micro practices, just small things that you can do on a daily basis to practice the given word for the month. And then on week 3 is when we get to reflect. I will share my reflection on how my micro practices went. And I really hope that you guys will be active and engaged in the comments and give some feedback on how the practice was for you. And then in week 3, we'll be able to then reflect on the practice. What did we learn? What did we observe? What strengthened us? What maybe challenged us or stretched us? And so we'll have an opportunity to then reflect on those 7 micro practices. And then in week 4, we're going to talk about what can we harvest from the practice based on what's been revealed. When you think about harvesting, it's not always, the good crops that come out. Sometimes we learn some things from the bad crops. There's never a failure, right? There's always a first attempt in learning. And so as a result, we're going to use that in week 4 to really understand what lessons learned we can glean. Now, I'm a professional project manager by trade. And so one of the best practices that we use is called lessons learned. At the end of every project, we do this debrief and we go through the process of understanding what went well, what could have done better, what practices do we want to carry forward. Like all of that is just part of the standard best practices and what we do. And so that will be reflected in week 4, where we will harvest and determine what can we pull out of this practice. And then, some Saturdays or some months have 5 Saturdays. So when we get that bonus week, we'll do some little things differently in that week. And we'll call that week the bridge whenever it pops in. And that's whenever it's needed, we'll do things like, take our current practice and then translate it into what we're going to be doing the next month. We may do some pop-up activities. The bridge will just kind of be like organic in nature. So stay tuned for that. So this will be our monthly rhythm. I'm really looking forward to sharing all of this with you guys from week to week and month to month. And so for the month of August, our practice is going to be the word wait. When answers involve time. Wait. What does that look like? Wait is the practice of patience. So I truly hope that you will follow along. You can certainly look on my socials and see the different posts, or you can go to the website practice.paulahollis.com. So if you don't catch me on socials, you'll be able to catch the recordings and the information on that website as well. So again, thank you so much for going on this journey with me. I really look forward to taking it with you and learning and practicing together. So what are you practicing today?